Have you ever noticed that when your birthday gets close, the air changes? People say it's a celebration, balloons, messages, cake. But inside, something heavier arrives. You wake up and the room feels different, like you've stepped into a theater where everyone expects you to perform joy. And you wonder, why does this day, of all days, make me feel as sad? You're not broken for feeling that. You're not ungrateful. Your mind is not missing something. It's sensing something. Because according to Jung, the psyche treats thresholds like sacred places, and every birthday is a threshold. The old year of you is ending. The new year hasn't quite begun. Somewhere in between, the masks slip, and the deeper self steps forward. Think about the night before. There's a certain hush, a nervous energy. You might scroll late, remembering old photos, reaching for people you haven't thought about in months. You're drawn to memories you find tender and strange. That's not nostalgia for its own sake. It's the unconscious laying out offerings at the door. It brings symbols, past selves, faces, rooms you've left. Jung would call this the moment when the ego senses a border and the self asks for witness. And then morning comes. The messages start. Some from people who love you, others from the algorithms that never miss a date. The strange thing? The more the world says happy, the more you feel the gravity beneath it. The pressure to be cheerful can feel like a costume you have to squeeze into. This is your persona, the social mask, trying to smile on cue. It can't always hold. Underneath, the shadow rises. The unlived feelings, the unspoken grief, the quiet tally of promises kept and not kept. No wonder it feels heavy. This day exposes the seam between who you've had to be and who you actually are. So what do you do with that seam? First, you don't iron it flat. Jung taught that rituals meet thresholds better than performance does. The night before your birthday, try a small rite. Light a candle and write a letter to the you who is ending. Not a list of failures, a goodbye. Thank them for what they carried. Name one weight they don't have to keep lifting. Then blow the candle out. Let the room go dark for a breath. Notice the feeling of a year ending. The psyche understands endings when we give them shape. But birthdays also trigger a chorus of comparisons. You glance sideways at timelines. Who has a house, a partner, a child, a book deal, a shiny life? Suddenly, you're counting. You measure your year against someone else's script. Jung would say comparison is often a disguised projection, an image of your own unlived potentials reflected in other people. He called it the unlived life that stirs at the edges, a gold hidden in the shadow. The point isn't to shame yourself for where you are or are not. It's to ask a tender question. What does that envy point toward that is truly mine? Not theirs. Yours. Turn that question into something small and real. Choose one modest act in the next 7 days that honors the seed inside the envy. If a friend's language fluency pinches, spend 15 minutes learning a phrase. If a colleague's boldness aches, take one tiny risk in a conversation. The shadow isn't trying to punish you on your birthday. It's trying to hand you a key. Some people feel a somatic fog as the date approaches. A headache, a heaviness in the chest, a strange fatigue that sleep doesn't touch. The body keeps time too, and it speaks in sensation. Jung never separated psyche from soma. He knew the mind uses the body's weather to announce a front moving in. On this threshold, your system may slow down to notice you. Instead of fighting it, give it what thresholds need. Slowness, warmth, touch. Take a longer shower. Oil your hands. Walk without a destination. Let the day include a place where agitation can settle. If you can, greet the morning sun for a minute. A ritual doesn't have to be grand to be powerful. It just has to be intentional. Then there are the ghosts. Birthdays often summon the child. Suddenly you remember a cake that never came. A party where no one arrived on time, a parent who forgot, or a parent who tried too hard and left you drowning in attention you didn't trust. These are complexes, Jung's word for emotionally charged knots in the psyche, little spinning centers of memory and meaning. They wake up when the year turns. That doesn't mean you're regressing. It means the psyche is inviting you to reparent the child now. How? Speak to them aloud. You can do this silently if you prefer, but a voice is medicine. Say, I remember you. I'm here now. Your birthday matters to me. Then give them one small, concrete gift. Not an object necessarily. A kind rule. An afternoon with your phone off. A dessert you always wanted but were told was too much. Rituals work because they give the child proof that someone finally understands. There's something else you might notice. Strange dreams the week of your birthday. You might find yourself in a house where the lights don't work, or swimming in dark water, or cradling a newborn you can't quite see. Jung would smile at these images. They are classic symbols of death and rebirth, the soul's way of crossing a threshold. The dark water is not trying to drown you. It's trying to baptize you into the next form of yourself. The newborn isn't literal. It's a part of you arriving with its eyes still closed. Try not to rush past these dreams. Give them ink. When you wake, write 10 lines, even if the images feel slippery. Then ask the dream one question. What am I leaving? And what is arriving? Don't force an answer. Watch for it in your day. The psyche often answers by coincidence, by the line on a billboard, by the song that shuffles on when you need it. The social part of birthdays can be the toughest. You might feel loved and still feel unseen, or you might feel painfully invisible when no one remembers, or the people who do don't know how to honor you. An attachment wound can throb. Jung didn't use the language of attachment the way modern psychology does, but he understood how our first bonds shape the inner image of being held. On birthdays, the old pattern looks up and asks, will someone carry me for a moment? If not, the trickster may enter. You find yourself crafting a test. You go silent to see who notices. You drop hints and resent the people who miss them. It's a very human strategy. It's also exhausting. Here's a gentler move. Design your remembering in advance. Choose 2 or 3 people and tell them exactly what would feel good this year. Not to make them perform, but to let them love you in a way that lands. Would you text me a memory? Could we walk by the river after work? Will you sit with me while I make soup and say nothing deep? Letting yourself be known is a birthday gift too. And then there's the soft terror beneath all of it, aging. The number changes. You do the math. You stand in front of the mirror and measure by decades. The culture hands you 1,000 alarms about youth, success, timelines. Jung would invite a different lens. He spoke about the first half and second half of life. The first half is largely about building a world, identity, work, family, strength. The second half bends toward meaning and wholeness. You are ripening toward the self, the center that holds all your parts. Aging, in Jung's view, is not falling off a cliff. It's turning toward a deeper horizon. If your birthday brings a fear of time ache, try this. Name one thing you're ready to stop proving. That's a second half of life move, whether you're 25 or 70. Then name one truth you're ready to grow. It might be a creative voice, a faith you've hidden, a tender boldness in your relationships. Write those 2 lines on a page and date it. The psyche loves vows spoken in simple language. You may also feel an urge to delete, to purge your closet or your photos, to erase traces of the year. Be careful with that. Sometimes it's a fresh start impulse. Sometimes it's a protest from a part that feels ashamed. Jung wouldn't shame the urge either way. He would ask, what are you trying to unsee? If it's clutter, clear it slowly. If it's a memory, you don't have to burn the archive to be new. Try a middle path. Choose one object from the year that symbolizes struggle and place it in a box labeled Finished Lessons. Choose one that symbolizes joy and place it in sight. You're not deleting your life, you're curating meaning. Around now, you might feel pulled between two rooms, the party room and the quiet one. The world says, choose the party. The psyche often says, choose the quiet first, then the party. Give yourself an hour alone on your birthday if you can. No screens. No noise beyond what you choose. Sit, walk, make tea, write. Ask 3 questions. What in me has grown kind without applause? What in me is tired of pretending? What in me longs to begin? Write the first answers that appear. Don't polish them. The self speaks best to a page that doesn't judge. Midway through this, a question for you. Does your birthday feel heavy, like the air thickens with memory and pressure? Tell me one ritual that helped you, or one you want to try this year. If these explorations give you language for your inner life, join us here. Subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation we're having with the soul. Now, the symbol everyone recognizes, the candle. A small flame, a wish, a breath. It's so simple it can look childish, but in Jung's world, fire is one of the oldest images of the self. Light arising from darkness, energy concentrated in a point. When you light that candle, you're not just decorating a cake, you're marking a covenant. Breath meets flame, old meets new. If you want to turn the wish into a Jungian ritual, try this. Before you blow it out, name your wish twice. Once as a desire, what you want to receive, and once as a vow, what you are willing to offer. I wish to be met in love. I vow to meet myself with love, especially when I am afraid. Then blow, let the smoke carry it. Another symbol hidden in birthdays is the circle. The year is a loop. You've made a revolution, literally, a turning. Jung paid attention to circles. Mandalas appear in dreams when the psyche seeks balance. If you're feeling scattered on your birthday, draw a circle and fill it with 4 simple images. 1 for body, 1 for heart, 1 for mind, 1 for spirit. No art skill required. Stick figures welcome. Then ask, which quadrant is starving? Which is overfed? Balance is not a moral achievement. It's a rhythm we practice. What about the people who love you but get it wrong? You might hear, don't be so dramatic when your mood dips. Or, it's your day, said like an order. It can hurt. Jung would suggest you hold 2 truths at once. Your feelings are valid, and their clumsiness is often about their own anxiety around thresholds. Teach them if you have the bandwidth. I'm happy to celebrate, but I also need a quiet morning. Both are true. Give them a role that helps them help. Would you handle the late-night plan so I can rest during the day? If you receive an unexpected surge of grief, let it have a chair. Grief on a birthday is not a failure of gratitude. It's a sign your soul is honest. Maybe someone you love can't call anymore. Maybe a version of you is truly gone. Jung said, "No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." Your roots are touching the underworld today. That's not tragic, it's grounding. Eat something warm. Share a story about the person you miss. Toast what cannot be replaced. And what of laughter? Sometimes the day gets weird and you start joking through it, or you find yourself laughing at nothing. Don't mistrust that either. The trickster archetype loves birthdays. If sadness opens the door to depth, trickster opens the window to air. A well-timed joke can break the spell of performance and bring real joy to the room. The key is to laugh with, not at, the parts of you that are tender. Humor is a form of mercy. If you tend to plan elaborate celebrations only to feel empty inside them, consider a reversal this year. Keep the plan small. Choose quality over spectacle. Jung valued the small, repeating act that carries soul more than the large, impressive gesture that bypasses it. 3 honest hours can feed you more than 12 hours of performance. And if you do want a crowd, make a secret ritual inside it. Step away for 5 minutes, breathe, feel the weight of your year, return by choice. You might receive gifts that don't fit your life anymore. That's okay. Let them be symbols. Ask yourself, what is the gift I needed that no one could give me? Then give it to yourself. Maybe it's to be spoken to tenderly. Maybe it's to be left alone. Maybe it's permission to say, I'm not okay today, and I don't need to fix it. Put that sentence somewhere within reach. Sometimes the person you were hopes the person you are will apologize for failing to become a fantasy, for not saving everyone, for being human. You can answer gently, I didn't become your dream. I became someone real. Jung's individuation is not a path to perfection. It's a path to wholeness. And wholeness includes the parts of you that still wobble, the parts that fall down and learn how to stand without hating themselves for touching the ground. Toward evening, when the day begins to exhale, return to a candle. Light it without fanfare, no cake required. Sit with the flame. Let the faces of the year drift by, one at a time if you can bear it. Thank them, even the hard ones, especially the hard ones. Then ask out loud, what is needed of me now? The answer might be a word, it might be a feeling, it might be silence. Trust what comes, even if it's quiet. The self rarely shouts. Before bed, close the circle. Stand if you can, and stretch your arms wide as if you are measuring the room. You are measuring your year. Say, I release what is finished. I welcome what is true. Then lie down. If you dream, write it. If you sleep without dream, that's also a blessing. Some thresholds prefer darkness. And tomorrow, the world will go back to its regular speed. The pressure will lift. Keep one piece of the ritual with you. A word on a note in your pocket. A small stone from your walk. A photo of your drawing. These are seeds. They remind you that birthday sadness wasn't a mistake. It was a messenger. It told you kindly to look at your life and to meet it. Really meet it. So if your birthday makes you weirdly sad, you're not alone. You're arriving at a door that opens only once a year. Jung would ask, will you rush past or will you touch the wood and feel its grain? Will you perform or will you participate? You don't have to choose joy over truth or truth over joy. You can choose a ritual that holds both. A candle, a vow, a small act of love for the year that is ending and the one that is daring to begin. If you try any of this, write it down. See how your body responds next time. Notice which parts of the day were truly yours. That's how a birthday becomes more than a date. It becomes a passage you walk with your eyes open. And when the day closes, leave a light on somewhere in your home. Just a small one. A symbol that the self is awake inside, watching over you as you step into another year. One hand on your past, one hand on your future, and both feet finally here.